This is a piece that I wrote a few years ago, and you can tell how many years ago because I put typewriters in it. And for those of you who were not born when this stuff existed, I also mentioned Tipex, which was the liquid paper that you used to put on pages that you'd type stuff on. And it's called Being an Experiment Upon Strictly Scientific Lines by Neil Gaiman, assisted by Unwins Limited, wine merchants of Upfield. It struck me last night, after a couple of drinks, that I'd never heard of anyone experimentally testing the precise effects alcohol has on a creative writer. I have in front of me a large bottle of scotch, a small bucket of ice, and a number of glasses. Also a typewriter and some paper. All this in the spirit of purest scientific inquiry. My plan is this. I will drink whilst writing. Thus we will discover whether, for example, alcohol really does enhance one's creativity, or whether, as some have claimed with, I suspect, scant evidence, it causes a writer to become maudlin, aggressive, rambling, and to lose his or her sense of modesty, decency, and restraint. Quiet, please. I'm about to pour and consume my first drink. Drink number one.
You need a drink.
There, somebody really should give me a drink.
You need a drink.
Thank you.
Hey.
There. Does booze make one more loquacious, funnier, more intelligent? What is the relationship between alcohol and art? And what was it that poet said? You know, what's his name? Rhymes with Heathcote Williams, made tense, tip of my tongue. Omar Khayyam. I often wonder what the vintner buys, one half so precious as the stuff he sells. Sheer poetry. Excuse me. Drink number two. Thank you. The word whiskey, of course, comes from the Gaelic, Wescabar, meaning water of life. I wonder how many great works of literature have been created due to alcohol. I wonder how many great works of literature have been held up due to people having put their Tipex down and not being able to find it for 10 minutes until eventually it turned up right in front of them all the time. I wonder why my glass is empty. Excuse me. Drink. It is if I'm going to get through the whole of this. Where was I? Oh yes, alcohol, writing. I don't know why people say that drinking makes you aggressive. Writers are not an aggressive bunch. We're actually meek and mild and polite, even when we've been drinking, especially when we've been drinking. I don't know what kind of numbskull, guacamole-brained, gutless wimps would accuse writers of being aggressive. If they want to say that kind of stuff to me, I'll be ready. Drawn fucking typewriters at dawn. They'd never show up. They've got no bottle. I've got a bottle, which is oddly enough half empty. And speaking as an impartial observer, the contents has had no discernible effect on my writing whatsoever. Drink number 5. Many writers, such as for example myself, have the TV on while working because it is an educational instrument of great worth. You can learn a lot from the television. Omar Khayyam was on the other day. No, hold on, it was the other one. Heathcliff Williams. Anyway, he was on TV going on about big grey buggers, long noses, flappy ears, not hippos, the other ones. Elephants. Anyway, he was saying that the average ejaculate of an elephant would feed an anthill for a year. Which is impressive, I suppose, but I keep feeling sorry for the ants. I mean, just think about it. I mean, somewhere around March, some little ant is going to say, "Oh no, not elephant spunk again." Eat your ejaculate, dear. Furnished by pulsing elephant testicles, that was, full of vitamins and protein. But we've been eating since January. I'm sick of it. Can't we go and chop leaves or milk one of those little sticky buggers climb all over your roses? You know, things. What's it? Aphids. And the other one says, I'll have you know there's ants in hills not far from here that'll be very grateful for a nice plate of elephant cum. Poor little what's names. Ants. I'll drink to them. Drink number 7, or just possibly drink 6. Hang on, I'll count the empty glasses. Right, drink 5. Said it was drink 5. Right. It's funny because I've noticed, along with many other great writers like Omar Williams and Hefket Kyan and people, how one's powers of inspiration start increasing practically exponentially under the influence. I just had this great idea for a novel. No, it's a wonderful idea. Listen, this bloke, right? Some bloke, just like this guy sort of bloke, you meet in a club, good bloke, always stands his ground. Anyway, he meets this woman, and... We get our own New Year here. It's in about 5 minutes. Trust me. But I keep feeling sorry for the... Anyway, it's a great idea because he's just like Romeo and Thing, you know, except he's in advertising and she, I don't know, dyes her hair or something. Doesn't matter. Anyway, in the end, they all live fucking happily ever after. It's going to be fucking great. You listen. So fucking 4 months every day. That calls for another drink. What was I? Effect of drinking on literary creativity. That's what. It's terrific. I feel so bloody creative. I feel absolutely creative. Actually feel a bit sick. Excuse me. Gotta excuse myself. Back in a minute. Oh God.